everyone, and welcome to a review of the Alien Collection Xenomorph Attack Set. I really wish I had a way of zooming out further, but this is literally, I have it all the way to the back of the set, and the camera is literally so close to the edge that it's scaring me. But yeah, it's an Alien Collection set. I've already opened it, should I say. Oh my god, that was a lot of things moving around in the box. But yeah, this is the main reason I got it. The power loader. I might as well just show everything that you get. So, there's the power loader, you also get a green Xenomorph, a gun for the power loader, and Captain Generic over here, who honestly reminds me a lot of a Poundland figurine. And I'll get into more reasons why he reminds me of that when we actually get onto him. But I think we might as well start, it's the Alien series after all, with the Xenomorph. So, yeah. Okay, so the Xenomorph. Why is it green? All of the Alien Collection figures have them in weird colours, and I'm not huge on that. I would rather them all be either a dark blue, or a black, or a grey, or a metallic silver, just like a dark colour, something that's a bit more realistic to the actual look of them in the films, or even the games. Blue is fine by me, and there is some of the sets that have blue Xenomorphs, which is fine. I might end up picking one of those up just to have a more realistic Xenomorph. But yeah, this is definitely a thing. So, it's actually pretty well made in a lot of ways. Unfortunately, the only real paint application is to the teeth. There's no actual tongue, which is also pretty disappointing. But, I mean, it looks the part, and I say, if it weren't for the fact that it's literally the wrong colour for a Xenomorph, I wouldn't have too many issues with this. Please don't fall over. Well, yeah, all the details are there. You've got the little, weird tentacle things on the back, the elongated head, the long tail, the 3 fingers on the hand and 4 toes. Everything's there. I just don't get why the colour is the way it is. But going into articulation, you have rotation of the head. It would be 360 except for the shoulder blades. I realise that was not on camera, but there you go. Rotation. It's fine. It's the bare minimum you expect. There's no up or down, unfortunately, but I don't know. These figures are extremely cheap. I'll kind of get into that when I talk about value, but honestly, I think that this is a really good figure for the price. When it comes to the arms, you've got full up and down hinging, which, is fine. You can do the chicken dance. It actually goes pretty high, in all fairness. That also has a pin, so you can do a full 360 rotation, as long as the tail doesn't get in the way. There's no actual elbow joint, which is kind of disappointing, though you do have... In fact, you don't. It's, sculpted to have a pin there, but it doesn't actually have a pin there. That's a bit questionable. But anyway, the hand does have full rotation, no actual hinge, but you do get a bit of movement out of the... I assume it's a ball joint, but I'm not completely sure, and I don't want to risk pulling it out the hand for a reason I will get to in a minute. At the waist, you have full rotation, full hula hooping action there. Pretty good overall. At the actual hip, it's a ball joint. There you go. It's not great, and I think I may have just broken the leg. It's not going back on. As I say, these are extremely cheap. There we go. But yeah, that's out. It's not very good. This is stood up straight, so straight line. About 45 degrees, not great. Otherwise, you've got forward, back. It's not bad. You can get some decent posing out of it, but realistically, what you want is the knee. And the knee gets to 90. Still not great by any means, but, that's definitely enough to get you into, a crouched position, which is kind of what you want. And then finally, at the ankle, you have a hinge forward and back. I don't think there's a rocker there. It feels like it's just a pin. It might be a slight forward-facing rocker, but it's just a pin. There's a pin there. I can't really feel if there's forward-facing or not, but in any case, it does mean you can get it into some pretty, accurate-ish poses. You can't really get it into a crawling position, which is unfortunate. But I'm not going to be able to do it now. I've been doing it the entire time I've had this open. You can definitely do it. There we go. It does stand pretty well. It's not the easiest thing to stand ever, but as long as you get the point of gravity, you're pretty much good. Also, the tail is posable. You've pretty much seen me move it already, but it has a full 360 rotation, as long as it doesn't get caught on the legs. Not a pin, just not a ball, just a pin. But I know I've seen a lot worse, honestly, and it does mean it gets out of the way of the other articulation, so it's not terrible. And yeah, overall, not a terrible figure. I'll compare the entire set in terms of scale to other lines at the very end, but next up, let's just talk about Captain Generic, the Space Marine that is included in the set. He, for some reason, comes with what I can only describe as a Fortnite harvesting tool, which I'll quickly just look at that separately, because this is legitimately a Fortnite pickaxe, and I cannot find a reality where it's anything other than that. I'm not wrong, am I? That is legitimately just a pickaxe. But, kind of futuristic, fits the theme, I suppose. It's just very random, no detailing on it. Nice little bit of moulding, though. It's alright. And, yeah, it's just a bit of a random inclusion. The figure, well, as I say, it reminds me very much of something you had found in Poundland maybe 5 years ago, and that, in this case, is not really a compliment. It looks fine. It doesn't stand all too easily. To say it's, a normal figure with normal proportions-ish. Obviously, the upper body, the torso, is a bit wide, but he's supposed to be a muscly man. It's kind of fair enough. Something that I don't think is fair enough is the fact that one of his arms is perpetually in, I guess, joystick moving action? I don't know, really. He's pulling a lever of some description with that hand, whereas the other one is perpetually in I guess, holding a weapon hand? Which would be fine and everything, but there's no purpose for either of these other than the pickaxe. I don't understand why he needs two different hand poses, but in any case, as you can see there, he's got full 360 rotation of his arm. That's literally it on his arms. They're both the exact same. He does have head rotation, at least I think he does, but as soon as I tried to do it before, the head snapped off and I've had to super glue it back on. So this head is permanently stationary. In the packaging, it was actually looking off in this direction, so that was the main reason I wanted to actually test out the articulation. There is a pin there, but it is so stupidly weak that the head broke off completely. Now, obviously, you've got forward on the leg, no back at all, very, very little at the very most, and yeah, you can just about get him to sit. He doesn't exactly fall over, but he is leaning back something fierce, so it's not exactly ideal. You could probably move his arms back and make it look like he's been thrown to the floor or something, but yeah, honestly, I've had much better figures from pound shops before, and that's worrying to me. And that, of course, brings us on to the main event, the power loader, which can barely fit into where my camera currently is, and I really don't want to move it for this set. I literally bought it for this. This is the entire reason for buying this set, and I'm not exactly disappointed in it. But when this guy is piloting it, I'm kind of disappointed. So, just going over very quickly the play features, you have a rotatable light, which shouldn't be rotatable, but it is, because it's just kind of badly connected on. I don't really know if that's really a complaint or not, but it's a thing. If you want to rotate it for whatever reason, it's there. You also have a claw, which is actually pretty cool. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this on camera. It opens pretty wide. You can easily grab, I don't know, his legs. You know, it holds on pretty well. You can drop him, I don't know. Honestly, this is so cheaply made that I'm just happy that it has enough grip to hold anything. Honestly, when I bought this, I wasn't expecting much. These sets are very cheap. But honestly, it does feel like the quality that I would find at a pound shop. And that's not what I want when I'm not going to a pound shop. This was bought at Smith's Toy Superstore, you know, an actual toy shop that sells actual toys. You know, it's where I got my Predator figure, which is ridiculously good quality. I don't know. But anyway, as you can see, arm rotation all the way around. The legs do move forward and backwards, but it's minimal, and realistically it's only to get out the way of actually letting the pilot in. Oh boy, how do we show this? So this actually lifts up. There's a little clip there. You take generic Army Man number 29872, clip him on by the waist, close that, crush his arms in the process, and there you go. He's in the power loader. Now, you may notice one blaring, really obvious mistake with how this is designed. His hands don't go anywhere. They stick out of the mech, and they don't do anything. Like, it'd be fine if there was something for him to hold on to, or hell, make it so that the figure can put its arms inside the legs of the mech. At least then it would actually look right. But as is, you have a poorly articulated figure that doesn't quite fit into the vehicle that it's made for. And just one final thing that I kind of didn't go over. There is a saw arm. It's a saw arm. It moves slightly, but I think that's literally because it's screwed on, which I'll show on the other side. Just a screw. Just a very obvious screw, and I think that's the only reason it can move, that it was just not moulded tightly enough and then screwed on. The little blaster, or whatever it is, on top doesn't do anything. And, yeah. It's definitely a thing. Just comparing size between the three different figures, I think the Power Loader and the Xenomorph are actually fine next to each other. It's just this guy seems tiny. And I don't know whether I'm just misremembering Aliens, but Power Loaders shouldn't be that much bigger than a person, right? There should be about that much difference between them and a Xenomorph, but like, even a Xenomorph shouldn't be that much taller than a human. Unless I've completely forgotten the entire film. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. So, yeah, it's an interesting scale to say the least. I did also kind of forget, there is a gun. It just clips on the back of the power loader. It has a gun now. It just pins on. It's alright, it has a little bit of articulation, but it comes off very easily. To the point where I'm pretty sure they don't actually want you to use it. And honestly, it's not part of the film. I don't really use it either. But yeah, let's just quickly compare it to a few other lines that are in 3/4 scale. And by a few other, I mean 2, because I can only be bothered to find 2 other. And by a few other, I really just mean 2 others, because I really don't know where any of my 3/4 figures are, because I mostly look at 6-inch scale stuff nowadays. And yeah, let's just compare. So here we have, obviously, the Colonial Marine, the Xenomorph, and then we have a Luke Skywalker and a Punisher. The Xenomorph is fine, and honestly, compared to this Luke, he actually looks pretty reasonable. The Colonial Marine actually looks about right, but I just can't get over the discrepancy with this. Because I've put it a good few inches behind that Xenomorph. So, you know, perspective, do keep it in mind. You know, these figures are considerably, like, better scaled to the actual, like, mech. And I don't get it. I don't get how figures within a line can be mis-scaled to the rest of the line. And just because I looked at it recently, there you go. Playmobil scale, there we go. This will actually probably fit the Playmobil figure pretty well. you know, that somehow doesn't work, like, as badly as I thought it would. That actually kind of works to that actually kind of works to some degree. That's remarkable. Well, anyway. So, realistically, the star of this set is the Xenomorph. I wish it wasn't in just a random colour, but the articulation is actually kind of phenomenal. The scale is pretty good for 3 3/4 inch, and the details are all there. It looks like a Xenomorph. I can't really hate on it that badly, and at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for. I just hope that he manages to kill this guy, because, you know what? You know what? Actually, I've just tried to tear him apart, and he wouldn't. First off, the head is super glued on, so that's probably why. But the leg wouldn't come off. You know what? I'll just feed you to the dog instead. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new around here. Tell me what you think if you've tried out any of these Alien Collection figures, or sets, or anything like that. The Alien Queen does look much better quality, but it is considerably more expensive. I may end up checking out at some point, but for now, I think I've reached my fix for this series. I hear that Ashens, who does much better reviews than me, is actually working on a video about this series, so hopefully that'll be out soon enough. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, let's grab all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Let's see if I can actually stand you up, eh?